Hey, in this hairstyle, I'm showing you how to achieve this look of the flip over Fulani braids with the French curl hair. You know, I had to do this again. I did it before on regular connect line hair and used the beach curl and all that good great stuff. So I was like, I wonder how this hairstyle will look with French curl hair. So that's what I'm doing. I started off with doing the last row of knotless in the back. I'm showing you guys how I do my knotless. Right now you see me parting using the braiding gel that I like to use, which is the Pure Neat Braid. I love this gel because it doesn't leave flakes, it doesn't make your hair dry, etc., etc. It's a really good braiding gel. I do not put braiding gel all throughout the person's hair. I just do it mainly at the base where all the, I don't want to say breakage, but you know, flyaways or whatnot is at. And I start off like I'm making a braid, and I feed in little bitty pieces right away. I do not do like a braid, like start the braid and then add. As soon as I position my hands in the braiding way, I start to add in small pieces. You always want to start with small, especially if you're doing small medium, and I just build the braid. The hair that I'm using is off Amazon. I'll give you the link in the description below, so look out for that. All the products that I am using in this hairstyle will be at the bottom in the description below. You don't want to rush this process. You literally just want to feed it in and build the braid up and all that good stuff. As you braid the hair with this French curl hair, you want to make sure you're separating each part. Do not let it start to braid towards the ends, especially with this hair, because it will knot up. And the thing about it is you cannot pull against this hair. You would have to cut it. So you guys don't see me really going through the whole thing, but I am conscious of it as I go through, as I braid, to make sure that I do not make a knot at the end. And if I do, I will snip it. I have no problem doing that. You guys do not see, but I did prep the hair on my braiding rack. To make the process go faster, especially with this hair, I would recommend using a braiding rack. I actually have a video of how to prep this hair on a braiding rack, because if you don't know how to do it, it can end up being a nightmare on Elm Street, literally. So if you want to see that video, I'll have it in the right or in the description box below, but most likely I'll put a card in the right corner so you guys can see how to prep this type of hair for French curl, Fulani, or just French curl braids in general. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when I'm posting. Follow me on all platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. I would really appreciate that. It will really help my channel and my platforms grow in a whole. I am trying to really take this thing serious, so yeah. And if you want to see how to do knotless braids, not just how to prep it, but just how to do a full head of knotless French curl braids, I also have a tutorial and a video on that. But you can see right here, as I get back into the video, I have ran into a knot. So you just cut the hair. You do not pull against it. It'll literally straighten the hair and ruin it, unfortunately. So yeah, that's one thing about this hairstyle, and I'm going to show you how I do my last knotless braid. Right here, you see I'm just adding a little bit of product. Then you see I'm just separating how you would do a braid. I grab, and then I start to add it in. I do notice that I did not do add in here immediately right here, and it'll still turn out well, but as I've been doing knotless, I'm always finding myself learning. I've learned that usually how I did the first knotless braid that you've seen is usually the way to go. I usually just feed in the hair right away, unless my client's hair is super thick to the point where it's like not a need. It's going to be easy to build the braid up and build the length up. So yeah. The more you practice knotless braids, you'll start to understand the density of just anyone's hair, including your own. Usually in the middle, it's very thick. around the perimeter is not as thick, so you'll pretty much know when to add in, especially if you want, or you should always aim for all your braids being the same size, close enough that it looks like the same size. Of course, you know, it may feel different but look different. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, and you see I'm just adding it in and I'm just braiding it down. I really wanted to show this process because a lot of people don't understand what build the braid is, and build the braid is simply building the braid to the length and the width of all the other braids, or the size that you desire. Since I am at the top, I have to feed in hair a little bit longer just so the ends will meet the same length as the rest of the braids. In my case, I pretty much know what size I am aiming for to make sure that all these braids look the same size and the same length. But in the first row, that pretty much determines the width and the length of the entire hairstyle. So as you go up each row, you can either make it look more like a layered look, or you can really match the lengths as you feed in hair. If you need a detailed tutorial on knotless braids, please let me know in the comments below so I can show you when to add in hair for the last braid when you're getting to the top, because I hear a lot of girls say, I don't know when to stop adding in hair. So what I typically do is I add in hair to the width, and then once I get past a certain point, I'll add more hair in to match the first row that I did when I first started the entire hairstyle. But as we get back into this hairstyle, now you see I am doing the triangle part. So I'm doing all the cornrows first because that's fastest. I've mapped out the design that I want the braids to be. So I literally only just have to just clean up the parts and then begin the braids. I know that may seem more timing or time consuming for some, but it's really not, because once you have the braid pattern that you want, you then just part and you just going. You're not really taking a break from there. So you may spend an hour, not an hour, but maybe like 20 minutes, maybe mapping it out, or 10, depending on how fast you are. But just getting the idea of how you want your client's hair to be. When you do the flip over side, you want it to look identical as far as the parts that's going to flip over. You want to make sure that the triangles are at least the same size and the same part as far as both sides of the head. Or if you're doing any type of identical style, I recommend doing the design, pre-parting it before you add the braids in permanently, because you'll know I have enough hair to achieve the look that the client wants. And it just helps the mental process be a lot more just clear when you're braiding. So I don't have to worry about, oh, I hope that it's enough braids or the same amount of braids on each side. So yeah, that's why I say map out your style before you start doing the actual style. Some braiders are really good at that, but if you're a beginning braider, I would say do it. I do it for time and just for my mental sanity, because I am a seasoned braider. I've been braiding for many years. So yeah, but at the end of the day, you do what works best for you. But if you want a pro tip, that's one. Do your design prior to braiding it all in on your client's natural hair, so you can make sure each part and each braid end up being the same size. And yeah, and I say that because each client has different types of like density in their hair. One side might be thinner or thicker, and as you know, your head is not identical, so it's not always identically matched. So this helped make it a lot more helpful for you in a way when you design it prior to, because you can give the illusion that it looks identical on each side just by the way that you braid it. So I hope that all makes sense. But As you always do with any type of feed in or stitch braid, you start off with the client's hair like you see me, and then you just feed in small parts of the hair that you are using. Please stay tuned because I know you guys have noticed I haven't went all the way to the end per se on these French curl braids. I will actually show you exactly how to tie them off and to seal the ends so it does not unravel. So in case you're wondering, like, she not going all the way down with these braids and I've been watching it, it's because I'm going to show you. Most likely I did do this style live, so if you want to see my live version, you can go to that on my channel. But I did not go all the way to I didn't do the ends at all until the very end because it just went faster for me just braiding it in, and then I just clipped it off, and then I'll be doing the ends, and you guys will see how I seal my ends or stop the braids from unraveling. And yeah, so you see me just feeding in little pieces of hair. Some people wait until they get halfway and then start adding pieces, but because I wanted it to have slits of red going throughout her actual scalp, and because of the density of her hair, I did add in some pieces very early. So yeah, it all depends on your braid style and how you do it. So this is the way that I do it. I wanted the braids to have a little meat to it, so that's why I start off. If I would have just braided her natural hair, it wouldn't have looked as meaty in a way. Like, I'm not saying fat, but like it wouldn't have looked as, I don't know how to describe it. You'll see towards the end what I mean, but it wouldn't, to me, I wanted the braids to all look a certain way where it didn't look like her braids was on life support. You know what I'm saying in the beginning? So, yeah. So right now, I want to take the time to just give out some gratitude to all the people who are subscribed to me. I really appreciate you guys. Really appreciate you guys so much that I decided to do a random shout out to new subscribers, but I'm going to change that to members only. So you guys better start becoming some members so I can do more than just shout outs. You can get behind the scenes, get to know me, all that. So for right now, I want to shout out Damian Jones, First Class, Stevie Gavin, Janice McNeil. Thank you so much. And thank you to all the other subscribers that's just been watching me and, you know, encouraging me and all that good stuff. I want to let you guys know that I see you. I literally just randomly say who I want to shout out. But like I said, I will be doing a members only type of thing. So you guys, y'all go ahead and become a part of my family so that way I can shout you out and you can get content, exclusive content from me. And yeah, I just wanted to take the time out to do that. So shout outs to you guys. Pat yourself on the back if you've been watching this long. So right here, I am starting the triangle individual braids. And you see, as I went through the whole top part, I was just taking down sections. You want to make sure you leave out a good amount of baby hairs. That's if your client is interested in baby hairs. She wanted about that much out. So yeah, and I wasn't going to force that into her braids anyway, because it is a little bit on the thinner side, but you can always tell when a person wear baby hairs because it's always thinner around the perimeter. But you see, I'm just cleaning it up, and then you want to make sure you have the same amount of triangle individual braids on one side as you do the other, and kind of have them look identical from a certain angle. So you can see I am matching it with the other one. And I'm just parting it out, and then I'm going to do individual knotless braids like I did on the back section. So now you see I am braiding all of the braids down. I am braiding it to the length where I want the curly to sit and be. And then I take a very small piece and I wrap it around and tie it into a knot. And I do that a couple of times back and forth just to secure the end so it doesn't unravel. Then I take another small piece and I do the same thing. And it's almost like a double knot in a way, so it doesn't unravel. At first I used to use nail glue, but now I do not because it takes entirely too long of a process just opening the nail glue and wrapping it and stuff like that. This is better doing 2 knots with small pieces of hair. And of course you see me cut the and I just make it all the same length. But yeah, this is pretty much how I secure the ends. I hope this is a good video for you to see, as far as being able to capture what I'm actually doing. I'm trying to get a close up so you can see, I showed you the fingers, if you notice, and I grab, pull, take it, do it again, grab, pull, and do it again, grab, pull, wrap around, grab, pull, and that's pretty much how you do it. I hope you like this video. Please thumbs up if you understand, or comment if you understand how to seal these ends. Let me know how you like this video, if you'll try this hairstyle. I hope I showed you guys enough detail that it won't be hard for you guys to do these ends. You really do have to use small pieces, wrap around, and it's really that easy. And yeah, if you don't, then you'll have a whole lot of problems moving forward with this hairstyle. So you definitely want to secure the ends like you see me do, like so. And you want to make sure you trim them up, make sure all the braids are even and all that good stuff. But yeah, I hope this video really helped you. Please hit that subscribe button and let me know what you think again. I really appreciate you guys for sticking through and really watching this whole process. Well, here is the finished product. I hope you like it. Now I'm about to show you how to do it with island twist with the Marley hair. So continue watching so you can see how you can become an island girl in your own world. Make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when I'm posting. Also, make sure you thumbs up this video if you like it. And yeah, continue watching. I have already twisted the back, so now you see me at the top part showing you guys how I did the island look. Everything that I use in this hairstyle will be in the description box. In case you guys want to go and do this hairstyle, I would really suggest doing this hairstyle because it is very cute. So as you can see right here, I'm starting it off just like I did the island twist. If you haven't seen my island twist tutorial, please go and look at that tutorial. That was also such a great hairstyle and it is still trending. So yeah, but we're going to get into these twists. So you see, I'm starting it off with a braid and then I'm going into it with a twist. I'm using my braiding gel to smooth out the hair as I twist. When you twist, you want to make sure you rope twist because you want to start tucking and really tucking in your client's natural hair. The type of hair that I am using in this video is the Ultra Twisted Up, and we are also using Beach Curl by Freetress. So yeah, and as you can see, I'm just twisting, rope twisting, and then once you get so far, you do not really have to rope twist. You can just twist. I do want to say that if you are a braider who is suffering from carpal tunnel, this hair can be a doozy when trying to do this hairstyle. If I was to create these twists again, I would probably try it in the Ultra Twisted Up Bohemian twist hair instead of this springy twist hair. But since I wanted a more hippie boho natural look, this is the type of hair you want to use, which is close to the kinky Marley hair. And it still turned out really great. As you add the curls, you want to make sure you rope twist the curls in. And you want to be at least 2 to 3 inches above before it ends when you start twisting in this hair, because you do not want the free tress beach curl hair to slip out and then you have tumbleweave. That would not be cute, ladies. So yeah, you just twist, rope twist, rope twist, rope twist until you're done and getting past the Marley hair or the ultra twisted up boho hair. As you can see, I'm starting at the top of her head. I just didn't want to show you guys a repetitive motion over and over and over. So I'm just demonstrating it on a couple twists. And then I am going to start the top part of the feet in the flip over look. I also did not add the Freetress hair as I twist because it just takes up time. And why take up time when you can do a time saver, which I'll be showing you later in the video. So please continue to watch. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Please follow me on all platforms, Slayed by Gemma on Facebook and Instagram, Gemma Gem and Gem on YouTube and TikTok and Pinterest. And I hope you enjoy this video. I am going to be starting the cornrow process and talk about that. So continue to watch. Right here, we're starting off with the cornrow. You want to make sure that you have the outre hair on a braiding rack on small pieces when you get to the top part, just as you would when you do knotless. And you have to start off with the braid. It also depends on the density. Sometimes you have to start feeding in the hair very soon, sooner than later, like as soon as you start the braid. But in this case, I probably braided at least 6 times. Then I started adding in this outre as you see here. And you're just going to continue to braid for a little bit and then add another piece. I know it does not look small or tiny on this video, but if you were to pull that hair straight, you will see that those are small pieces. So if you're a braider and you're trying to figure out how to do it with this type of hair, you just have to feel for it in a sense. You will know if that piece is too thick to feed into certain areas of the hair. And you're just going to see me continue to braid. Once you braid, continue to braid down probably like an inch after you get off the scalp of doing the cornrow. You're going to then split the hair in two, as you see me doing right here, and then you're going to start rope twisting. The braiding gel is great to use when doing this hairstyle because it helps tuck in the person's natural hair, and you just keep twisting and twisting. Make sure you're twisting as you twist. So twisting the hair in your hand and twisting around. If you want to see a up close video, like up close shot of this, let me know in the comments and I'll do a short on it. But yeah, and you just start twisting and twisting and twisting until you're at the end, and then you'll start feeding in that tip of the free tress breech curl once you probably get at least 2 inches above the Marley hair, and then you're going to rope twist that in. And that's pretty much how you do this hairstyle. I'm going to show you guys how I did the whole top. Make sure when you do the top part of the Fulani that you map out how you want your braid. So as you can see right here, I have it braided down and ready to go for the crisscross look. Make sure you leave those baby hairs out. I do not leave a whole lot out, but I leave just enough for my client, enough that they can manage laying down themselves, because I don't want to leave out too much hair and then they're like, okay, look good when you laid it, but I can't lay it down. But as you can see right here, I did have it braided down because I knew I was going to do the crisscross right here. And I'm just basically parting it up and glazing it with the braiding gel. Right here, I am now starting the individuals at the top of the Fulani style. This is how you give the flip over method. Make sure when you're doing the flip over method that you ask your client would they like it braided towards where it's flipping over to one side, or if they want it hanging down from each side. I asked this client, she wanted the braids at the top, the three to be showing, and the braids hang down at the side. And then whenever she wanted, after like I would say a couple days, then she would be able to flip it over because it is not too tight, but it's anchored in there pretty good. You want to make sure when dealing with this Marley hair, as you can see, it gets tangled, that you are very gentle, especially on the first braid around the perimeter, because it could be a doozy and it just can be a lot. But overall, I love using this hair. It just makes it look more natural and it just looks like her hair. And as time goes on, it looks better and better. Now that all the extensions are added in, you want to go through and oil your client's scalp because this hair can really dry out your client's hair. So you want to always make sure you moisturize. I always put a whole lot so they can at least have like a week off, and then after that they need to spritz it with some water and then moisturize it. Now I am spraying the Got To Be towards the ends just to make sure that the hair does not come loose. I just make sure it just kind of glues it in. Now you see me doing my quick method of adding in the boho curl with the crochet latch hook. I literally just take the beach curl hair and then I put the latch hook through, pull it through, then I do a couple knots and I pull, and that is how I add it. The only reason why I did not add it in manually is because it takes so much more time. Also, this gives my client the option to cut it out once it starts looking ready because this is synthetic hair. So what she can do over time is just cut it right at the knot. You can't really see the knot, it's very little. But over time, once this hairstyle is worn and gotten a little, for me, I like how it looks when it starts looking a little raggedy, long as they're small pieces and not thick pieces. To me, it just give it that hippie look. But for some girls, they don't like it. So this gives your client the option to actually cut them out. And it also is a game changer when trying to save time, but still create the same look of the boho look, if you will. If you are using human hair, I would not advise using the latch hook method. I would actually advise you to use the twist in method and actually twist it in. But since this is synthetic, I think it's fine. But with human hair, it's a lot more slippery, so you don't want it to be slipping out, and you want to really make sure that that hair is anchored in. So if you're using human hair, do not latch hook it in because it's not going to last in that knot. I would recommend twisting or braiding it in, depending on if you're doing twists or braids. But as you can see, this process is a lot more quicker. And I also want to say, make sure you do the Got To Be spray first before adding in this curly hair, because you do not want that Got To Be glue on these curls at all. But yeah, I have to say, I know I sped it up and everything, but this goes way faster than actually twisting it in. What I like to do is have a rack for beach curl all separated, and then a rack for the hair that I'm going to be braiding in, because then I just grab and go for basically the whole process of doing my client's hair. Then you spray some mousse on just to set the curls, make sure the curls fall back into formation and make love together. And yeah, that's pretty much how I like to do it in my process. It just helps moussing it right after you do the boho curl, and you add as much as possible. And usually I advise the girls to put more mousse on it after like a week. But yeah, here's the finished product. I hope you enjoyed both of these videos. I'll see you guys in the next one. Here's some more playlists on Fulani braids.